innocent children hurt, harmed, and dead. Toxic toys have been a big issue in recent years, and it's time to inform people of the risks and the dark side of the toy world. The reason I chose this topic was because one of my best friends growing up, his name was Austin, he suffered lead poisoning when he was a young child. He told me about this, and he told me that he had the risk of being taken away from his parents because the doctors weren't sure what was wrong with him. Some may ask, what is a toxic toy? A toxic toy is a toy with lead, mercury, or other potential hazardous materials or chemical compounds within that specific toy. One may ask, what is lead? Lead is a metal found in earth, which is poisonous. It is found in old pottery, old paint, and other toys and furniture of old ages. One may ask, what is a phthalate, and what does a phthalate have to do with anything going on with this presentation? Well, phthalates are a group of chemicals used to make plastic more harder and flexible and harder to break. An example of this would be with the recent BPA-free water bottles. Before, they had to recall millions of water bottles of Nalgene because people were getting toxic chemicals drinking out of these water bottles. People may wonder, what is lead poisoning? Lead poisoning happens when one person swallows or inhales pieces of lead or lead dust. To know when a person has lead poisoning, the only procedure to figure that out is taking a blood sample of an individual. Also, lead poisoning has many effects on the overall body of the individual, not just in the blood. It also attacks organs such as bones and the brain. The discovery of potential hazardous phthalates link between high levels of metabolized phthalates in a mother's body and the genital development. Baby boys were found to have lower sperm counts and lower testosterone levels. And is it recording? Oh. People may wonder why children, how children, why are these the main suspects of this disease or poison? And how is because children put many things into their mouth, and when they inhale and breathe things into their mouth, including toxic chemicals, they wind up with toxic lead in their systems. Children can inhale just dust or little tiny specks of a paint chip and get positive lead in their body. Why children? Because children of young age are usually on the floor and like to wander and see their surrounding areas. They tend to put many objects in their mouth, and this increases the chance of getting lead poisoning. The effects I found from the Health Ministry of New Zealand advised some risks, and they showed the effect the brain development of a child. They also increase the chance of a child vomiting, stomach pains, loss of appetite, and constipation. And the most severe consequence is brain damage to the child or even death. In this slide, I show Bakugan is a company who makes toys, and this is a knockoff toy of the Bakugan company. And I read this article from Michelle Duff called Pull from the Shelves, and it described this specific toy. This yellow truck tested positive for 26,250 milligrams per million of lead, when the legal limit is only 90 milligrams per million of lead. So this was a complete scam and very dangerous to young children. America's problem. America had to pull over 45 million toys from the shelf in 2007 in Toys R Us stores. And it was found not to just be the generic cheap toys in this instance. It was also toys with learning abilities like Dora the Explorer and Thomas the Train. I found a YouTube video online to warn others about lead poisoning, and I'm going to show that right now.
This holiday season, be on the lookout for toxic toys. Lead, plastic additives that affect hormone levels, and toys that are too loud. These dangers are out there, and Marilyn Park says consumer beware.
But it is really alarming that we don't have stronger protections in place so that I have to worry about this at all.
One example is the Little Hands Love Book. It's over the legal lead limit of 300 parts per million, and it's still for sale on sites like Amazon.com.
When you're out shopping for young kids, it's a good idea to keep a toilet paper roll in mind, or better yet, bring one along. If a toy fits through the roll, that means it's too small and could pose a choking hazard for young children.
Dr. Anthony Caterino will be celebrating his first Christmas with his twin daughters.
And you think that, oh my gosh, we want that sort of feeling of we have this tree full of toys, but you know, sometimes it's better to go for quality over quantity.
And he plans on buying smart.
The toy that's a bargain might not necessarily be a bargain in the long run.
US PERG offers a mobile list of recalled toys, tips, and hazards for parents on the go. In Baltimore, Katie Smith, CNS TV.
So I really liked that movie because it kind of described the awareness of the Christmas season, because that's when toys are bought the most, and parents need to understand that toys that are cheap have a higher risk of causing harm to their children with toxic chemicals in them. As I was doing this report, I also found this website called healthystuff.org. And this was when March Madness was occurring, which is a basketball month themed for tournament. And 65 university themed products were all tested. 70% of those 65 products tested level for toxic chemicals in them. Solving the problem. So this problem has been going on for years and years and years. In 2008, President Bush signed the Consumer Product Safety Improvement Act, which has restrictions on toys coming into the country with a limit of how much lead is supposed to be in those specific toys. It also bans neurotoxic heavy metals and also hormone-disrupting phthalate plasticizers found in plastics such as rubber ducks. And this law came about from the states of California, Vermont, and Washington. Education and procedures to help solve this problem ourselves, not with just the government. I think everyone needs to understand the importance of this topic and how serious it is, because our youth is what is going to be the next generation raising up for our country, and we need to protect them. So right now, New York State has laws in effect making it a requirement for 1-year-olds and 2-year-olds to be tested each year for lead in their bodies. Also, I found this interesting fact that houses built 1978 or earlier had the potential risk of having hazardous lead in the paint of that house. So if your house is made from 1978 or earlier, you should maybe get that tested if you have young children in your house. As a result of this presentation, I hope everyone understands the seriousness of this topic. Hopefully you are all aware of these toxic substances and know innocent children are at harm's way with these toxic chemicals in our toys. Thank you.